Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I am your host, Jonathan Dugan. I am joined, as always, by Mr. John Henningsen. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, after a week hiatus. Your boy was feeling a little bit under the weather, so we decided to call it off last week, which, to be honest with you, man, I think it was kind of nice to have a little break. I don't know about you.
Break's always good, man. I mean, no one's complaining on our side of it, you know what I mean? But, if you're out there suffering because you just missed us dearly, we appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, a break's a break, man. Everybody likes a break once in a while.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Hesse. We know that you missed us. You did ask me where the hell the episode was, and just it didn't happen, bro. I'm sorry. I know there was a lot of shit going on in the sports world, but you're just gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait it out, and that's okay. A lot of stuff happened though in the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that we missed is probably the college football stuff, but it just really just depends on like where you want to go and where you want to take it. But probably in terms of like being on top of it last week, we could have been hot on the mic with the college football fervor. But yeah, plenty has happened since. As we have a lot to cover tonight, man. Like there's plenty of areas where we can dive into because yeah, sports world's moving per usual.
I mean, hey, you brought it up. I was gonna go NFL right off the dome piece, but you did bring up the college football playoff. I know we're a week late to the party, but I think it goes without saying, right, that a lot of shit happened. I think Florida State getting jobbed a little bit. What were your initial thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I don't know what your feeling was, but and I think if you even went to our Twitter account, I was like, "There's that dachshund moving around in the never going to be able to just whatever you want
Yeah,
to do, bud."
that's a
Uh, but
ghost.
but ultimately, I even put it out on the Twitter. I was like, "Hey, Florida State's just got to take." I was like, "Hey, Bama won, they're in. I just know how this works. We know Bama's going to be in now." I'm like, it's just up to Florida State to really protect their spot, and then we'll see like what sort of chaos we get beyond that. But apparently, the committee had no problem just sticking it to Florida State. I think it's brutal. I mean, if like I'm a Florida State fan, I'm definitely bummed. Uh, Probably more like devastated and probably angry. I do think they got jobbed. I think that they absolutely deserve to be in. I believe that if you win your games and like you have everything in front of you and you're a Power Five school, that you win and you're in. And I think that they should have been in. All of that said, I think it does create, and it's not something that hasn't been said out there because we are a week late, but it's a tremendous opportunity for Florida State to claim a national championship by beating Georgia, which is objectively hilarious and like the best possible scenario for them. I do think they were likely going to lose in the playoff. So I think it actually puts them in an advantageous place. And then I think as a fan of the college football games, frankly, I'd rather watch Alabama. I don't think that Florida State team was particularly impressive. I watched them against Louisville. It wasn't
Yeah.
great, although the defense did like step up, stand out, and look impressive. And so maybe we are missing that opportunity for sort of an underdog story there. But I kind of feel like we got the best of both worlds, even though I might not like the taste it left in my mouth, if you will.
Yeah, dude. I think it's one of those shitty things like where it makes a lot of sense why it happened. Alabama brings a
Mm-hmm.
lot of eyeballs to the playoff. Jordan Travis, extremely good. Apparently, he's the fifth best quarterback or player in the country. And that's exactly where Florida State ended up anyway. So, by the way, that was like one of my favorite tweets this weekend. Was Florida State putting out a congratulatory tweet to Jordan Travis for finishing fifth, and somebody retweeted it and said, "Oh, so suddenly you're okay finishing fifth."
Yeah,
I was
that's
like, I don't know if I should laugh or if I should be like, God damn it. But you gotta chuckle out of me because it's true. Their defense is nasty, Florida State's. So I don't think they would have got as trounced as people think they would have in the playoff, but Bama's gonna put on a better show for sure, which is better for revenue. So I guess I get it.
Yeah, that's what's tough, right? Like it definitely makes sense. It's definitely not surprising, but it is altogether disappointing. And it is like it just sucks that like we watch all these games, whatever. you want to believe that, I mean, because you just flip it, right? We're Arizona fans. This happens to us. We're absolutely, there's a chance that door closes on us at some point, right? That
Next
very
year,
easily
dude.
could have been us. They did it to the ACC. They didn't do it to the Pac-12 in this instance. Washington made that bulletproof, which made it really easy. And then, yeah, man, Texas and Alabama are named brands, and they made it in. The sneaky part, or the annoying part to me, is that I do feel like Texas is really just another SEC team, right? Like they're going as a representative of the Big 12,
They really
but
are.
like you can't fool me, man. Like those are some SEC strings being tugged, being like, oh, look at us with two representatives. So that part's gross, but it is what it is. It's college football, man. I mean, that part sucks, but it is, you know.
I mean, what are you going to do, right? And,
Yeah.
you can even sit here and argue. I mean, we're Pac-12 guys, but like, did Florida State have a better resume than Washington? I mean, they beat LSU, they beat Florida, they beat who was the other? Then they have another out of conference win that was like pretty impressive.
They had two. Well, I guess Florida. No, I don't know. They had a couple SEC schools on the schedule, and then I guess it would have been outside of that. What your North Carolina, your Louisville, nothing. I don't know that anybody had a better resume coming out of the ACC than anything out of the Pac-12 this year, but I mean, certainly you could make an argument. Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to make that argument because I like that Washington is there, but
Yeah.
you know, I guess I could kind of see like where people would be upset about it. You got to feel bad for Jordan Travis. Like that sucks too. When he put out that tweet, I wish I would have broke my leg earlier. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't. That's not helping anybody. They're not going to suddenly put in, the squad just because of you. So I don't know, man. I feel for him. At the end of the day, though, the real winner here is Nick Saban. You've been calling it out all season that good old tricky Nick was going to find his way into the playoff, and he sure as shit did.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. We still have look, I'm still excited about it. I'm gonna watch it all. It doesn't change my appetite for college football, and in fact, I can't wait for even for the bowl games to ramp up. It does make me go like all the way back where I just want to take this thing full circle. I'm like, dude, if we're still just as we continue to argue about it, you're like, I just like the bowl games where it was you just had mismatch of players, and then we could all just argue about it, and that was just kind of the fun of it. Is that you would get
Yeah.
to argue about it? You'd have an undefeated Michigan and an undefeated whoever else somewhere else in the country, and then we could just sit on here for hours and argue about it. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I kind of miss that fun of it, but I don't know. I guess everything's going to be fixed by a 12-team playoff. And then honestly, like I keep laughing too to think like at some point we were looking at things like the BCS computers and the Sagarin ratings, and like all of this mattered to us and was like near and dear to like our experience. So college football always changing, but always with the same end result. The big boys reign supreme.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Sorry, you like froze up there for like half a second. So
Yeah, I think we might be a little laggy here with the live feed. I'm not sure what's going on, but it feels a little bit like that.
yeah, it's okay. It's a work in progress. We're trying
We're
things
battling.
out.
We're gonna battle through.
No, but did you see the projections for the 12-team playoff? Like that, I think legitimately might have been fun. Though I would have wanted Arizona to find their way some way somehow because I do believe they are better than where did they end up 15th, 14th?
Yeah, 15. Yeah,
I
I
think
believe 15.
yeah, and I think the teams in front of them were who like Oklahoma because they're playing them in the Alamo Bowl.
I was like, I looked at the list a week ago, and now it's just like a week of me being like, I have no idea.
I want to say Louisville made it ahead of them, and I think they're better than Louisville.
I definitely gladly played that Louisville team for sure.
Yeah, and then there was like one other one that made them ahead of them that I'm like, I know for a fact Arizona's better than, but they didn't get in, obviously. That would have been a lot of fun. I I I agree
Sure.
with like a lot of people that like I don't think it would have made much of a difference. I don't think, what, like 8 and above is really gonna like knock anybody out, but it would have been a hell of a lot of fun. So I am looking forward to that next year, especially once Arizona's in the Big 12. And I was actually looking at the schedule today with Hesse, and I truly believe we might go undefeated next year. So we might just be in it anyway.
Just count it, baby.
Yeah,
I
just
was
get
like,
ready.
hey, all things coming up Arizona right now, so why not us? Why not us?
It's true, honestly. Um, but we have the 4 set, right? We got Michigan number 1, Washington number 2, Texas 3, and then good old Bama. So first round matchups, we got Michigan and Bama, which by the way, I know we're a week late again, whatever. But the Michigan team reacting to getting drawn Bama, my God, what scenes, right?
Yeah, definitely
And
not what you want to see.
no, not a whole lot of confidence going in the Michigan room there. But do you think Michigan stands a chance against a hot Bama team?
I think they stand a chance because I don't think this is like that. Look, Alabama just escaped Auburn the week before we all crowned them and put them back in. And like, hey, they beat Georgia. They were the 800-pound gorilla in the room. So good for them. But those two have just been trading that thing back and forth. I don't think either of those teams. I mean, I think we saw it all year with Georgia that we kind of thought, this doesn't feel like quite the same. Like it's close and it's definitely like it still might be enough to get the job done, but it felt a little
Yeah.
off. And I don't think that Bama team's much different, right? I mean, like there's definitely uh, it's not perfection from that quarterback room all the time. I think he's like coming along nicely. They developed him. They're going to have guys on defense. When Saban gets time for the playoff, like I don't think I'd pick against Bama, but I certainly believe Michigan has a chance.
Milrow looks really good. Like the last like 5 weeks of the season, he's really turned it around. But I agree with you. Like there's a reason why Homie was shaky to begin with. So like I don't know, that Michigan defense is pretty gnarly. Then again, so was Georgia's, and he did very
Yeah.
well against them. Um, but I guess too, now that Harbaugh's back, does Michigan have the giant chip on its shoulder that you know kind of drove it the last few weeks of the season? I don't know. Can
Yeah.
good old Milk Boy get them to the promised land?
That's what's interesting. It's like they have like a rallying. They have something to rally behind. So it is like just interesting to me. I don't know that it really means anything, but it just feels like they have like a little bit extra that some of the other teams don't have in terms of a mission.
Yeah, I think McCarthy. I don't think this Bama defense is as good as it has been in the past. So like he could have a nice game. I think McCarthy's a good player.
Yeah, I do
Um,
too.
Blake Corum, hell of a back. Um, I don't know, man. I don't think it's you have a lot of people on Twitter already and a lot of just pundits, period, that are like, oh no, like Michigan's gonna get their doors blown off. I don't see it. Like I think it's gonna be a close game, but I could see Michigan pulling it out for sure. Am I wrong in thinking that?
I mean, that's what I mean. I don't think so. I think we have like 4 teams that I genuinely believe any one of them could do this in 2 games, which is what's cool. Like that's the thing is like I think if we had Florida State in there, and like no disrespect, but I do think you would be looking at them as like they're the weak link in this.
Yeah.
And now you just have 4 teams that I think are all flawed in some level.
Hmm.
Like I don't think any one of these 4 teams is like truly dominant or perfect in any way, but I can see all of them hoisting this thing at the end of it. I don't see any reason to believe that any one of these teams, whether it's Washington just because of how consistent and stable Penix has been for them, whether it's Texas just scheming it up and dicing up some teams and scoring a bunch of points in one half, or Bama just being physical and just continue, or Michigan, same kind of story. So I mean, I think it's an awesome playoff. I think it's going to be 4 great uniforms for that matter. We're going to have 4 quality uniforms, like nice colors,
That's for sure.
brand recognition, actually regionally different. It's just like a nice mix this year. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
I do too. I think I'm more excited for that Texas Washington matchup. Michael
Same.
Penix hasn't looked as hot as he has been, like in the early parts of the season, but that Washington team is still very, very good. Their receiving room is insane. Probably, I'm gonna say it's the second best in the pack.
Yeah.
for sure, no bias there, but I think probably second best. Roma Dunze is like incredible. They got McMillan out there too. I think that's just like the receiver last name you want to have right now.
It's a
He's
very
really
Seattle
good.
name.
Yeah, it is. So they're doing things for sure. Their defense is kind of shaky though. I mean, that Apple Cup win was like, and then, even, the Oregon game was just one of those things where it's like, it could have gone either way. So going up against a Texas team that, for the most part, besides the Oklahoma game, really, tore shit up. It's going to be interesting. Who do you have in that game?
I think I have a Washington lean, but I think it's just because I've seen them more all year, and I've kind of stopped, like, kind of not paying much attention to Texas as the year's gone on. So I'll be curious to see, like, sort of what other people are talking. We still have some time to, like, really think this one out, understand the matchups a little more. But I think my early lean is a little bit Washington. But again, like, if you asked me today to really put in, like, no idea, coin toss, I think that's why I'm excited for these games. I genuinely don't have any strong feelings about any one of these teams in any one of these games in a way that's really meaningful, which is fun. It means I can just like turn it on and find out with everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Quinn Ewers is going to be starting for Texas, right? Like he's still their quarterback, or is he? I feel like he's always injured.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, as far unless I miss something, he's all good to go.
That'd be something though if he got hurt and they just threw.
But anything's possible. Yeah.
They threw Manning in there, his first real action, because I don't count that game that he jumped into.
No, and they really have the other kid still ahead of Manning, kind of, don't they?
Yeah, the more athlete kind of kid.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's like I don't know because unfortunately there's a Ewers and a Manning there, and I don't have room for a third name. Like I just like
No
I'm out of
disrespect to that kid, but
yeah, like
yeah,
I'm like he's like I know I'm sure he's like a player and he's probably gonna that probably means he's gonna transfer somewhere and be a starter next year and be a hell of a player. But yeah.
yeah. I know their defense is pretty gnarly too, and they have that one receiver as well. From what I remember, I don't think anybody's really sitting out of the bowl game so far, right? For the top four.
I don't think no, I haven't heard much out of the top four. Obviously you're starting to see the names trickle in a lot of the other bowls, which obviously are a little more meaningless, if you will, because there's nothing really on the line in terms of a championship or anything. But I haven't seen anything from the big four yet, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. So with that said, you have are you taking Michigan or Bama? Like which one are you taking?
I think it'd be hard to pick against Saban. I mean, I think like you know what I mean. Like
Ooh,
if you put
don't
me in
tell
a
your
corner,
father-in-law.
if you put me in, I know, but if you put me in a corner, man, it's just tough. Like, will I be rooting for Michigan? Probably, yeah, I'll be rooting for Michigan. I'll be rooting for Washington. I would like to see just a good old fashioned Rose Bowl, personally.
Yeah.
That's my style. That'd be my cup of tea. And then, I'd like to see, like at this point, I would just root for Washington, like for no real reason. It would just be sort of that, just to talk smack to Ben when he comes back. You know what I mean? It's just the Big Ten, Pac-12 stuff that we've had going on this whole time. The thing that's been bubbling underneath the surface of all of our conversations.
Yeah.
Let's just bring that into the mix, man. So that's what I'd be rooting for. But it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed not to pick Bama. And honestly, like if you just told me Bama was going to win the whole damn thing again, not surprising to me at all.
So we're going Bama, Washington.
I think we'll start there with like we'll leave the caveat that we can change our minds as we still have time.
Yeah, dude, we have a couple weeks until this game really happens, right? Because that's technically,
Yeah,
I think it's like that week of New Year's, like a couple days
yeah, it'll
after,
be
right?
yeah, it'll be like New Year's Eve or New Year. Like they play those games on New Year's Eve, which I don't know why, but that's what we do.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, if you
I'm
want
okay
to
with it
do,
too as an old guy. I just
yeah,
don't know what I'm just trying to picture like 23-year-old me, and I'm like I have a real decision to make here. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to go to this thing, but like these games are on, and like I damn sure don't want to miss these games. Are we going to a place that has the games on? Like it's just a weird little. But for me, it's great. For you, I'm sure
yeah.
it's wonderful, and for everybody older than us, what a blessing.
As an old guy, I can tell you with full certainty that I plan on only drinking at the house anyway. And
Yeah,
if that just means I get to throw on really good college football, I mean, dude, there's nothing better. You know
agree,
what I mean?
completely agree. Yeah, for
I'm,
us, it's great.
I'm off the next day anyway. I don't know when the 31st is this year. I don't know if it's a weekday, but I'm off anyway. So let it
Yeah.
ride. Get to drink as much as I want. Get to sling obscenities at four teams I don't give a shit about, really, at the end of the day.
Shit
Definitely
post
rooting
on
for
Twitter. I
Washington,
know
though.
what you'll be up to. Yeah.
Definitely rooting for Washington at the end of the day. Pac-12 bias, at least for this year. So if it's UW and Bama, you're just straight going Saban then.
Yeah, I mean, like, what am I gonna like? That's the thing. Like, if you that's I would just say this, right? If you really put me in a corner, I'm betting for my life. What am I gonna do? Like, I'm up there at the gates and I'm going there. Like, what happened? And I was like, dude, I bet against Saban. You know what I mean? Like, what? I can't be like, I just wouldn't be able to say that. So, if you really push me into a corner, yeah, I probably would do that. I'd probably bet Bama.
Okay. I mean, I think that's fair. Washington probably hasn't played a defense anywhere close to what Bama's going to bring them, even with a down year. Well, I say there is no defense in the pack. Oregon State had a good defense this year. I don't know if it's Bama level, but like arguably very good. Did Washington play UCLA this year? I don't recall.
I think so, but I don't know so because they did.
Hmm.
That feels like one of those other games where they just would have won by 10, and you're like, why did they only beat UCLA by 10?
But UCLA had a
They
top
went on
10
a
defense.
whole stretch like that, but they might not have played them because they're in the South. I feel like they skipped Utah, so there's a good chance that
Yeah.
they saw I know they saw ASU. I know they saw Oregon. I know they saw Washington State.
They did
Obviously, I
play
know
a they did play a vaunted Arizona defense, though, I will say that.
they did play one
Um,
hell of an Arizona defense.
UCLA did not play Washington this year, so not
I
that I
think,
think UCLA is that great, but their defense was very good.
yeah, I mean, you just think about it though too. It's like who I mean, so Harbaugh does have experience in these playoff games. Hasn't really gone perfectly yet, but he at least has some experience. Uh, I'm like drawing a blank on our guy's name in Texas right now, but he has some experience from at least a coordinator standpoint, even though he hasn't actually done this on his own. He's done this with Saban. And then you just have Saban there who's just been in all of these. So that's the other thing. Is like he just knows, like he's just copy and paste the schedule that worked for the three championships or whatever it is now. I don't even know what number we're on. And he's
Yeah,
going to be like, guys, this is what we do. This is the blueprint. Here's what we do. We're doing. I mean, and then you just give him a couple weeks to break it all down with his, army, like literal army of staff who's going to be seeing every single piece of film that there is imaginable on all these teams. Just a very scary thing.
yeah, no, I completely agree with you. All right, so we're rolling with Bama. All right, sure.
When in doubt, man. Right?
Why the hell not? Well,
When
let's
in
move on to
doubt.
the next topic then. We're going to talk a little bit of Arizona Wildcats just because since we are talking college football, Arizona did draw Oklahoma in the El Paso, not El Paso Bowl, but the Alamo Bowl. Oh, Texas is just one giant city. Let's be real.
It
Um, you know, but playing Oklahoma, um, new team into the Big 12, old team leaving the Big 12. This is kind of our introduction to the rest of the Big 12 if they haven't really been watching. Oklahoma does not have Dylan Gabriel or yeah, Dylan
Yep.
Gabriel, right? I was
Yep.
thinking it's Gabriel Dillon for a second. Two first names. You can't do
No,
that. Cardinal
I know.
rule.
And he's already headed to Oregon, so he's already
He's
like in
already
our
there.
conscience, but somewhere else. Yeah.
They do have a five-star quarterback that was sitting behind him, so I'm sure that he's super good. They are missing their center, their right tackle. Both those guys opted out. We're missing Jordan Morgan. He opted out. That's a huge loss for Arizona. But the rest of Arizona, I'm pretty sure is playing, right? I don't think anybody else has opted out except the guys that put their name in the transfer portal that weren't playing really anyway. We'll miss you, Isaiah. Good luck on your next adventure. Um, but I know that Vegas thinks that we're the betting favorite. Do you think we're the betting favorite?
As of our last recording, all I've said about this team is like bring us anybody, man. I feel so good about this team. I don't care who you put on the schedule. I am 100% in. I am like this team has nothing to prove to me. I'm really excited about the opportunity to prove it to like as you mentioned, it's a great I mean, look, you think Big 12 fans won't be appreciative if we go out there and stick one to Oklahoma on their way out? I mean, what a way to get into the Big 12, right? I mean, we get to walk in And they were like giving us the old pat on the back for thanks and giving Oklahoma the old send out. So I just think it's a really great opportunity for us to really embrace this Big 12 thing. So I absolutely feel like we can do it. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to do it. Of course, Oklahoma will be up to task, so I don't expect us to just walk in there and destroy them. But yeah, I absolutely believe we can win this game. We got Noah Fafita, man.
Yeah, and I will let you know, message board warrior myself, already looking at the Oklahoma message boards on 247. They're dropping lines like, let's go in there, drop 70 on these fools, go to the SEC
70,
and show
dude.
them.
They forgot what their programs become.
I know.
70 is not what they are now.
They are fully convinced they are going to just drop the shit hammer all over Arizona. They feel like they got absolutely jobbed out of a New Year's Six Bowl, which maybe I mean, who'd they lose to? I think they lost to Oklahoma
They lost
State.
Oklahoma State for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that for sure happened. I think they had two losses. I mean, they had to have two
No, they
losses, right?
definitely have multiple losses. Yes.
Who
They're
did
at
they
least a
lose to?
two-loss team at minimum.
I Oklahoma football schedule. Great podcasting. But you know what? I'm
I
just
wasn't
not
even
as
100%
familiar.
sure we were going to talk about this. And I don't know if you did either. In our defense, just say it that we didn't.
They lost to Kansas, so our Big 12 brethren,
Yep.
and they lost to, let's see. So yeah, just those two teams. Oh no, and Texas Tech. They lost to Tech.
That's what I'm saying. You're a 3-loss school, man. Like, what do you want?
Wait, and they lost to West Virginia? Are they
No.
no?
They did drop 59 in West
That
Virginia.
was
So
22.
that's who they're
That was
imagining we are.
22. Okay. And so was Texas Tech. Texas Tech was 22. So goddamn Google. Really
They also
then
lost to Florida State last year in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So in 22. So let's just do Oklahoma losses historically, starting from their first one.
by the way, if we weren't going to get the Alamo Bowl, I would have been perfectly okay getting the Pop Tarts Bowl, considering their mascot is edible. Did you hear about that?
They're making a giant real Pop-Tart.
They are doing that. Yes, that is a
That is
thing.
kind of sick. I love Pop-Tarts.
I mean, who doesn't? Who amongst us?
Dude, they're just so good. Cold or hot. Doesn't even matter.
Yes. Yeah.
Hot, they're dangerous. Just a heads up. Like a Hot Pocket. Becomes a weapon.
They will burn the fuck out of you,
Yeah,
the roof of your mouth.
Real quickly, your friend can become your enemy with a Pop-Tart and a Hot Pocket. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they only had two losses. So Kansas and Oklahoma State, but those are pretty bad losses, if we're being honest. Oklahoma State, not a great team, got absolutely worked by Texas. Kansas kind of fell apart in the end. So I don't know what you're bitching about, Oklahoma fans. You belong right there with us. All right. We're arguably a better team right now than y'all anyway. So
well, and they're in a Big 12 conference that, like, I mean, look, we're moving there.
Awful.
I don't want. Yeah, they had a bad year. Like, I mean, we're going into that conference. It's fine. Hey, in Big 12, don't worry, man. It's a great basketball conference, top 10. Like, and once Arizona comes to solve your problems on the football side too, all good. But yeah, I'm stoked, man. Don't you feel good about this one?
I do. Yeah, I think Noah's gonna have a really good game. I don't think they have an answer for T Mac. I think just overall, like offensively, we're better. Defensively, as long as guys don't opt out, like we're better. So, no, I think this is our coming out party. I think this is us claiming the Big 12 early, showing everybody what we're about. And going into next year, I think we're going to be pretty dangerous. They did just land, by the way, a transfer from Indiana that was like a former 4-star corner. So they're doing things.
Yeah, they're starting to pile up now.
We're a football school. It's really weird. I will say, though, all the Big 12 Facebook groups that I post these episodes on are like, what about the 240 million? Yeah, who cares? It's not stopping anybody. We might have to fire a few professors. Our president might get fired. Doesn't matter. We're here to stay, baby.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, like if you, I don't want to get into it, but we'll be fine.
And we're definitely a two-sport school because Arizona basketball, my God, number one team in the land, and it's not even close in my opinion, dude. Like Purdue lost. Everybody else, I think, is running with a loss right now. We go in and play Wisconsin. Got to say it like T-Pain, Wisconsin.
For sure.
Here at McHale, wasn't even a close game. You were at that game. Sideline reporter John Henningsen. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were, and if you're an Arizona fan, you know this, right? We obviously have some bad blood with Wisconsin. So my thoughts were I was a very chill guy, very calm, level-headed human being with no extra anxiety going into that game, only to get
No,
into McHale to realize I was full of anxiety and I could not wait to whoop those Suns. Dude, this team is good. This is a much bigger, much more athletic team with real wings. We are back to the point in the program where we just have an athletic wing who just rolls around the court with an untucked shirt, and that's acceptable and that's a vibe. That's how you know your program is once again stable and ready to make a Final Four run. Is when you got dudes who are just casual on the court, chilling, but like they're not casual in terms of their play, just casual in nature. I mean, look, dude, they've got guards, they've got bigs, and they've got wing. There's some depth here. They absolutely dismantled Wisconsin. I mean, that was not even, and it was crazy. I mean, I thought the officiating, frankly, was sort of like, hey, like let's let Wisconsin like throw their elbows and grab and cheat and pull because like it's the only way they're going to be in this fight today. And it didn't matter. I mean, we just absolutely smoked them. We ran up and down the gym. We have guys on the perimeter who are absolutely going to dog out most guards. I mean, that's just what it is. Those guys got dog walked. I mean, there was never, and then we had the scouting report. We absolutely knew who couldn't shoot. And if Keshad Johnson's going to be able to roam around with that defense is a real problem at that point. So last thing I'll say on that is McHale's back. That was the most juice I've heard in McHale in a long time. I mean, and I've been to games like year after year. Like I don't ever miss a year where I don't get to a couple games. And that's the loudest it's been in a long time. And I think that's because the community's back like, hey, this is a number one team. This is a real team that we can get behind. Obviously, a little extra vitriol in the water with Wisconsin in town, no doubt about it. And those fans look like they had a lot of fun, by the way. I had no problem waving to those suckers. But, dude, this team's good. And I can't wait to play Purdue on Saturday. You know when you're just excited, like knowing, like I'm just bring on the next one, dude. I just bring them on down.
I got the daughter's birthday party on Saturday though, so tough look. I know. Well, I wasn't in charge of that planning committee. That was all the wife. Chose arguably the biggest game of the season. Luckily it is at Peter Piper Pizza. I know for a fact they show Wildcat games.
Yeah, fire up them TVs, baby.
They for sure do. And they got beer. So at the end of the day, if I got to let my daughter run around with her little friends from preschool playing games and whatever, and have the wife glaring at me while I'm watching the Cats yelling at the TV, drinking beer at Peter Piper, God forbid if I do it, like it's going to happen. I was going to invite you, but like I saw that the Purdue game was this weekend. I was like, there's no shot.
I just want a video of you like splashing in those Peter Piper coins like Scrooge McDuck as, Caleb Love hits a 3 and you're just.
I know, dude. I love Caleb Love, by the way. He's so unhinged. Like he could go off for 50 at any point. And then he has Boswell next to him, who's just like the calming presence, who's also just a sophomore. What a team. So much fun. And then Balo's just out there bodying people.
They have everything, dude.
This is the easiest team to root for we've ever had.
It's the easiest team to root for in a long time. Long time.
At least since like the Aaron Gordon Rondé days. Like those teams were fun to root for, except Tarczewski. He was a giant bitch. But like, Balo for sure is not. I mean, was he not? Dude would get.
He just couldn't catch, man. He just couldn't catch.
Yeah, and he let Frank Kaminsky drop like 40 on him. So
yeah, well, I mean, yes, Zeus is not my favorite
player.
Yeah, definitely an imperfect player. Not my favorite dude either. Like in terms of like, yeah, you're not going to see me in that jersey. You're not going to hear me regaling stories about Zeus either. But I wasn't going to call him no bitch. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this much: Balo Paulo wouldn't have tolerated it. He would have thrown some bows. He would have took the braids out. He would have got his inner Ben Wallace going. It wouldn't have been happening, bro. We wouldn't have lost
And
to Wisconsin.
that's what I love too. Is like you got those two bigs. I mean, Ballo gives you one thing, Krivas comes in and gives you another. Like you said,
Very
you got
well
that yin and
balanced
yang
team.
in the backcourt. Like it is just such a nice group, man. And then and we talked about it before, but when KJ and Kashad are out there too, it's just like just crazy length and athleticism that is just a problem in the college basketball level. Those guys are a dime a dozen in the NBA, but that's where those dudes are headed.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to have them again.
You bring on Pella, and he's got his like cool Euro
Dude, yeah.
sensibilities. You know, he can hit a shot. He's pretty smooth with it. You got the other Euros on the team that just bring that very like fundamental white basketball.
Phil, I will say, and this is your guy that like we talked about, Philly B out there looking like absolute comic relief at the end of the game, looking like an absolute robot out there taking his weird free throws. Hey, I still have hope for him. Who knows? But he came out there, and I'm telling you, he was so stiff on that first one. Everybody looked at me like, "What is that guy?" I'm like, "All right, we're in that." I'm gonna have to explain Philly B to people once again here. And
They're
yeah,
telling him to watch the podcast.
he's a good. Yeah, I was like, he's a good comic relief at the end of a game, but with the potential to be a solid role player down the line.
Absolutely, dude. And this is the thing. Like, if Tommy wants to recruit a bunch of Euros, as long as he supplements it with like dudes with real athleticism, like Kashad Johnson or whoever, like it's gonna work. Because, like I said, very well balanced team, can do a little bit of everything and a whole lot of like scoring. So, honestly, probably one of the most dangerous teams in the league in terms of like just putting the ball through the hoop, but also playing hard nosed defense when it matters. So, I don't know. Huge test, both metaphorically and physically on Saturday. I hope Ballo absolutely destroys Zach Edey. But Zach Edey is a good college center. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
He is. Guy scoring like 30 a night. I mean, he's doing it at this level. But I think the reality is like this guy either gets foul calls or he doesn't. And that's like going to determine what kind of game we're in. If that guy does not get calls, I suspect we handle Purdue quite nicely. If he does get calls, then I'm sure we'll be in a close one. But I'm just glad Arizona handled Wisconsin because apparently, like, just winning one at home versus Wisconsin was enough to kind of get us back into the national media conversation, which I think we were struggling to get into. Despite beating Michigan State, despite beating Duke, they still want to see more from Arizona. Like, all right, now you beat Wisconsin. Yeah, could you also beat Purdue before we know for sure? But I think you're starting to hear some of those guys that are really following the game acknowledge that Arizona is a real threat this year, whether they like it or not. It is definitely happening. It's a thing. And so I'm excited because, man, as you mentioned, like it's the Purdue, but then it's right after that Alabama and FAU. So it's been a loaded schedule, which I think is really, really important given that we're going to absolutely dog walk the entire Pac-12. So
we say that, but God damn it, last year.
Oh, like something will pop up. I mean, that is what it is. But Arizona's comfortably sitting in the number 1 seat while there's no other Pac-12 team in the top 25. So
yeah, I was going to say UCLA looks bad. You got Mick Cronin out here talking shit about players that just beat him.
Did you go to the Bronny debut? Did you have the extra 50,000 in your?
I didn't. No.
Okay. Yeah. Me either.
We're tucking that away for the kid. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Got Peter Piper on Saturday.
Yeah, got to buy them tokens, baby.
Tokens, man. Yeah. I was like, those things aren't free, man.
They don't look good either. USC does not look good. And there's just, I mean, Washington won though. Who did Washington beat?
They beat the Zags.
The Zags. That's who it was. Which you gotta love that. That's good quality right there. That's a good win
for sure.
Outside of that, though, man, we're pretty much it. So maybe you're right. Maybe we do dog walk the rest of the Pac-12. Maybe we go undefeated. Maybe we take it all the way this time. Maybe we get to an Elite Eight and we move forward into the Final Four and actually do some work.
I believe.
Yeah. As long as we can shut up people like Marty Mush from Barstool, when we beat Duke and he's like, oh, well, Duke didn't really care about this game. Well, what are you saying now, Marty? What are you saying now?
Yeah, don't worry about those dudes that can't read. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really just like If you can't read, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I can't. He's
Yeah.
also a known Charger hater, big Herbert hater.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a weird dude anyway. I think,
Strange cat for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, on to the next, man. We did have an NFL weekend this weekend, obviously, as I changed the banner. A lot of action going on. RIP to Herbert. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. Just travel safe, dude.
That was the thumb that was already hurt, correct?
No, other hand.
That is why he's out.
Yeah. So now he's like two
he has
oven mitts.
no opposable thumbs at all.
Yes, this was a throwing hand, so he's like definitely going to be out for a little bit. And I think they just need to shut him down. Like it's not even that.
What are you playing?
Just shut him down. Like this team's terrible. Just shut him down. Just shut him down. Just shut him down.
Fire the coach. Move on.
Yeah. Fire the GM also, by the way. But
what are you guys like 4-8 now? Does that sound right?
Sure.
You're like, I lost hope.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even looking at the NFL standings. So yeah.
Like I stopped watching so long ago.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as they put my franchise quarterback in the oven mitts, I was done. So yeah.
Dude, he was balling though for a minute though.
I mean, look, he's still really good. Let's just protect him and move on for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's all you really can do. You guys are 5-8. I was close.
Yeah, that's why I kind of.
You play the Raiders. Probably the best game of the century. Some are saying. I believe that is Thursday night football, so it's going to be a good game. Absolutely.
If you're Easton Stick's mama, dude, it's a big one.
Yeah, it sure shit is. I don't know, dude. I just feel bad for you. This is like the season from hell that I feel like you had higher expectations than you usually do going into this year. I feel like you did. You guys had a team
for this season.
Yeah, higher than last year.
We showed up with Staley. I mean, like I was aware. I mean, like, did I like think maybe we could like just be in the playoffs again or whatever, and just kind of continue some momentum of like Herbert's existence on this earth? Sure. Did I ever think we were going to win anything meaningful? No. Staley's still here, still a clown. Telesco's an idiot, and as we mentioned, they just drafted another. Telesco's like, oh, what? I like tall receivers that can't catch. So,
dude, he's bad. Like, holy shit.
He caught some balls with Easton, though. That's what he needs is someone who can throw it, offhanded to him. Like that's a problem with Herbert. Just very quick. He throws an actual ball. So if you actually can't catch, you are a liability out there because he's humming it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, on it, bro.
Like there's a lot of people that can catch and then like someone actually hums one at you and it turns out your hands don't work at all, right? And then you get hit in the face. And that's kind of where QJ sits, I think.
It's a bad look for sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
Just saying, dude, I'm going to say it every week and you're going to get tired of it, but Draft Boy was right? I called it a long time ago when he was the first receiver drafted.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold out hope for him, but it's looking bad.
You know who did have a touchdown this weekend?
Yeah, I saw Zay. I know Zay's out there. I know he's out there. I know. Congratulations on your overtime victory.
Yeah, the Rams came to play. I think they're a good team. I think they've had bad luck with injuries this year.
Yeah,
Stafford was out for a little bit. I think they could maybe sneak into the playoff. Well, I don't know about anymore after they lost to us, but good receiver core. Puka is nasty. I have great respect for any player that plays without gloves. That's just an art form on by the wayside. Puka's out there just with the taped fingers. That's dope as shit. He had the one diving catch just with no gloves at all. And I was just like, that guy right there is a player. Yeah. Cooper Kupp had a touchdown. He still remains good. And their running back, Kyron Williams, is also good. So I did find it annoying that the broadcasting team decided to just highlight every fifth round pick they've ever had. It's like, okay, cool. We get it. They're very good in one specific round.
Yeah.
Okay? We can move on from that. Overall, really fun game. Like we've been talking all season that there hasn't been a lot of like really fun games. That was a legitimately fun game to watch. Watched it with Dad, so there are plenty of Waymanisms. Okay. He did say he thought Lamar Jackson would be faster, which I'm like, Dad, what the fuck are you talking about? He's out there cooking people. But yeah,
how fast do you think he was?
he did call Zay Flowers a midget, so there was that. And he did question He did question Odell Beckham's sexuality, which about to be 86. I guess that's just what he's allowed to do. So it was a banner-filled day
Who
for
among
me
us
and
hasn't
Dugan.
questioned it? I mean, every now and I'm curious about everybody for that matter.
My
I
dad's
wonder
really
what they do.
my dad's really
They're,
into the trenches too. I don't know if that's just an old man thing, but
oh, they love the trenches.
he just really questions the trenches. He was really talking shit on the Ravens, just saying they weren't deep enough in the trenches. I thought they did fine. But that was just his go-to is like, you got to get better in the trenches. I think going forward, don't tell my wife this, but I might just travel down to Yuma every single weekend just to watch games with my dad because it's an art form. He's got a
Yeah.
comment for every single thing. It's great, you know.
Look, it's definitely enhanced the conversation around the game. There's no doubt about it. It's the biggest smile has been on my face the entire time. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
trench talk.
Dad was real fond of Cooper Cup. I'm sure you can probably gander a reason why. An 86-year-old white man loving Cooper Cup.
Yeah, shocking.
Wow. Who would have thought?
That's when
Really
I know
like,
I've lost it. When I just start rooting for just other whites. That's when I know
yeah,
I'm going to be like, all right, you know what, dude? Like, I think I just have to stay home now.
yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed in public anymore.
I think I'm done watching.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, I
Um,
can't be rooting on people based on race alone.
yeah. Overall fun game. When Lamar threw that touchdown at the end of the game, my wife was real happy because she said, "Oh, cool! Now Dugan's not going to be pissed off in the car." She then got up to walk to the bathroom, and I looked at my mom and dad, and I was like, "She's going to be real mad when this game goes to overtime," because I just knew it was. And she was pretty mad about it. She wanted to get back home to Tucson,
Yeah.
and she just could not tolerate another 15 minutes of football. So thank God that a couple punts were forced and then punt return touchdown. That was cool. I think
Yeah.
anytime it could be the world's shittiest game, which it already has happened this year with the Jets winning on an overtime punt return. But when it's two good teams and it's been a battle all game, 31-31, high scoring affair, and then you get a punt return touchdown, there's nothing better in football. I mean, legitimately.
It's hard to argue, right? Because I'll always think that the Deshaun Jackson one, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the one that jumps out in my brain first. But like, yeah, it's always a great. You're right. It's a great finish, and I do think like I didn't sit and watch your entire game, so I'm not going to pretend. But
Wouldn't expect
just
you to.
given the highlights and the scenarios, I do feel like that would have been one of the better games we've seen all year.
Yeah, and it kind of disproved your theory after our game that Lamar just throws sideways. I told you it was just that game plan for that game. And again, I kept saying, what the fuck, the whole game we were watching. He had a couple like 45 plus yard touchdowns this past weekend. So
Yeah, I mean OBJ got free, and that no one saw that coming.
I don't think,
I was sending him to sit with Wayman already.
yeah, no.
A couple 80-year-olds just hanging out there.
His route running was sick as shit though on that touchdown. I don't know if you saw the highlight.
Yeah, yeah.
That was kind of like vintage Odell. That was cool to see. And then we had like the tight end touchdown. Of course, I have that guy in fantasy, but he's on my bench. So that was cool. Love that. Thanks, Isaiah Likely. Wish you could do that every week, but you don't. But overall, fun game. Ravens are 10-3, I want to say. Yeah. Yep,
Feels
10-3. Chiefs lost. So Chiefs lost, Jags lost.
What happened?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. God, love that. So they're sitting squarely in first place of the AFC. Last time we won the AFC, we got absolutely dog walked by the Titans in the second round. So can't wait for that to happen. Coincidentally, the last time the Ravens won the AFC was when I had my daughter Madeline. Guess what's happening now?
There you
I'm
go.
about to have my daughter Emery. So maybe I just need to keep fucking. Ravens do better when I do. So.
I always encourage that. Don't need to see a doctor to get that recommendation.
Yeah. The last time they won the AFC too, I was literally in the hospital. Well, I wasn't. Jen was, and she was, having contractions, whatever the funny business that goes on with pregnancy.
Yeah, not a doctor.
And she was going through immense pain. I was watching the Ravens tie up their last game in Week 17 because naturally, what else am I going to do? Decided to put a tweet out there that, hey, the day that my daughter's born, the Ravens get their first AFC, crown. They sent me a helmet, like a signed Marshall Yonda helmet, a real helmet, not one of those fake shitty ones. Let's hope for the best, Henny. That's all I'm saying. Maybe I get a Lamar Jackson jersey out of it. I don't know. I'm putting this on you, Ravens. Listen, my kid's on the way. Y'all look to be the class of the AFC. What do I got to do this time? What are you sending Daddy Dukes? All right, because obviously I'm the good luck charm.
I mean, look, you make a compelling argument. You do, and I got no dog in the fight at this point, so I'm happy to see Lamar. Like I said, I've been a Lamar guy. I've never not been a Lamar guy. I'm just hoping to see, again, I want to see him turn the corner too, because I spent a lot of time defending him on the internet also. So, not like you. I can hear the word running back and not have a chill run down my spine. I'm okay. But I put in some hours.
Yeah. It's fun, let's get into the Chiefs game though, because that was even more fun.
It's funnier. Yeah.
Like we always say, there's nothing more appetizing than watching Patrick Mahomes have just an absolute bitch fit because things don't go his way. Kadarius Toney, again at the helm, right?
This guy's incredible.
He's the best thing that ever happened to the Chiefs, let me tell you. I know that you enjoy it as a fellow AFC West division opponent. Kadarius Toney, number one fan. We love him on this podcast. Definitely offsides. I think that there's no real debate there, right? Unless you're just
I don't think so. I don't really understand what the argument would be.
He was a good foot offsides too.
He's offsides on camera. And I think I think I know, I think most even casuals know, you have every opportunity to check with the referee. And if you don't, it's on you at that point.
Yeah.
But there's a simple fix for all of this.
Yeah. I mean, but unless you're Patrick Mahomes, then you call it the worst fucking call in the history of NFL to Josh Allen as you go up to shake his hand after the game. You don't say good game, you say worst fucking call ever. Just, this guy sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Extremely talented. Nobody's saying he's not, right? Probably the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, that's an easy statement to make. But God, what a piece of shit this guy is. Am I wrong in saying that?
I don't have a problem with Patrick Mahomes generally. Obviously, I don't think this was his best moment. Generally, he seems pretty likable to me. I feel bad. I end up in this position with Patrick Mahomes more often than not, where I just feel bad as his brother's dancing behind him, his girlfriend's doing something, or his wife, excuse me, is doing something ridiculous. And then, or even they're catching his dad on video, just probably a couple more than I've had recently, and just go Saints, or getting him saying whatever else. And so I always just kind of feel bad for him. This case, he made an ass of himself, but heat of the moment, super into it. I don't know if it's the end of the world and I want to call him a piece of shit, but which I'm not, I get what you're doing. You're not saying it oh yeah, personally, whatever. You're just talking as a fan too, but I can let him slide on it. I just think it's hilarious that it happened. I just think it's funny that it happened. The play was sick. I'm sitting there with we get off the golf course. I'm sitting there in a clubhouse with three other guys that I just finished around with. We watch this play and we're like, that really just happened. And then we all see the flag. We all saw the flag right away. And so we're we know there's a flag out there, but that feels like an offsides flag. And they let that play go, but not the offsides you think it's going to be. Surprise.
The seldom called offsides on the offense. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah, this guy can't line up. But it's all just crazy. I mean, it's just it's a loser look from the Chiefs for that day, no doubt about it. Whether I want to flip my whole narrative on Patrick Mahomes and kind of who I think he is or whatever, it was definitely a bad moment.
I'm sure he's a chill hang outside of the gridiron. I'm sure he's a good dude. He sucks on the field, personality-wise. I just hate the constant looking for a flag. The moment you knock him down, he's looking at the refs. The constant I'm him bullshit and stuff like that. It just gets old. You know what I mean? Like his whole persona on the field sucks. Off the field, I don't mind him. He's okay. I've rooted for worse. I was a Chris Paul fan for 3 years. Okay. I get it. you know, like
I said I would never do that. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. And then
look,
there you are. You're like, dude, send me the jersey.
yeah. So I get why people root for him. All right. And he's fun to
Yeah.
watch with the bazooka and everything, but I just hate shit like that. Just have some. Look, I hung out with an 86-year-old all weekend. Have some sportsmanship, all right? So
He is annoying on the field though. I'm with you on that. Like he does give like very Brady vibes, antics. Like he's to the point where he feels like everything should go his way, and I
yeah.
think when it doesn't, he has a real hard time checking it again.
hmm Overall, I don't think the Chiefs are that great this year.
They're
I
not.
think, yeah, their record tells the story of what they actually are this year. The Bills did beat them. I don't think they're that great either. I think this was billed as like the best game of the weekend, and it showed just how behind expectations both these teams are. So there was that. The rest of the games, I don't know, not a whole lot of note. We had two Monday Night Football games. I will say this: big Tommy DeVito fan. Um, not necessarily of his talents, but of his personality. Because if I can watch an episode of The Sopranos and watch football at the same time, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean that was interesting tonight, and I gotta go back to this. Like, how relieved did McDermott look, and how bad do you think that guy needed it after the story that was leaked about him this week?
The terrorist thing,
Yeah,
the 9/11 terrorist.
yeah, yeah.
It's just coach speak, bro. I don't know why people are freaking out. All right.
And I'll leave this. I won't. I'll leave this person's name out of it. But we did have someone. We're sitting there. We're like, because we're watching the game as I mentioned, and then it goes, and it's like, because I just see the immediate relief from McDermott, and like me and another dude had the exact same thought. Like that guy just like saved his job for like now at least. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
survive this week. Because I do think a really bad loss on the lateral like that after the 9/11 speech leak, like that could be it for you. The relief on that guy's face was pretty obvious to me, and then it's immediate. Like there's always one in the group who's like, well, the speech did kind of make sense though. And like, if you think about it, they did have good communication. And we're like, dude, we all know. Like, we all know. But if you think you would have run that by me the morning of, and I would have been like, yeah, dude, I actually think it's a really good idea. Like, there's no chance in hell, right? All you got to do
No.
is run that by one other person in your life, and you're going to be an absolute no. But yeah, Tommy DeVito's fun, but McDermott's way funnier to me. I don't know why.
I don't know if he even is funnier though, because Tommy DeVito's agent legitimately looks like a mobster. So
Yeah, I know that is pretty funny.
yeah, like I don't know. Is it a giant shtick at this point? Like, do you think they're all in on it? Like, do you think
I,
his family's actually probably normal, but they just like go to games dressed as like prototypical Italian families from Jersey? And his agent probably doesn't actually look like that, but he just was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on TV tonight."
I guess he's like they said he got like I don't even know what's real. I really don't know. They're saying like that this guy got the agent got inducted in like the Italian Sports Hall of Fame, and so like then it's of course like they're mixing him in with all these other I don't know big time Italian names who's like guys like names are all gonna slip me right now, but yeah, I don't know. It might all just be fake. It might just be more NFL nonsense. The Taylor Swift news is a little cold, a little stale. And
Yeah.
so we went from, cold news to cold cuts, I guess. I don't know. This is
Wow,
what we're
what a
up to.
line! My
Yeah, I got
God,
there. Just found it. You know what I mean?
bravo!
Sometimes you're just searching around here and something comes up. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting for sure, dude.
That's
I
why
really
we're on
don't
a
know if it's real
podcast,
or not,
John.
man. I
Lines
really
like that, you know. Huh.
I really just can't believe I don't I just I'm with you though. I really just don't know if it's real or not. I'm
No,
like I
I
guess
can't
this is
tell.
yeah, I was like I guess this is real. I don't know. As real as
Yeah,
anything else is. It's more real than the NBA scripted in-season tournament.
yeah. You want to jump into that? Those
I mean, if
shirts
you
were printed in July, bud. Let me tell you,
yeah, I
they
like that
were
line too, by the way. Yeah.
they were. I mean, it's not even a line. That's just a fact, bud. Like, I there's no way it wasn't scripted. Like the first year it's in existence, you got a team with LeBron, LA, Everybody from LA goes to Vegas anyway. They know they're going to fill the building. They were ready to go. You know, Pacers
Yes.
didn't stand a chance.
Trying to create all the buy-in. Does the in-season tournament matter? How can we create, some cloud around it? How do we make sure it feels legit? Well, we just let LeBron win it, dude. And then all of a sudden it feels like something that's real and tangible and important. Which, I think we did get some good games out of it. I think it's better than a boring old regular season game. But what a scripted piece of shit. I mean, come on, guys. You can do better.
I'm not going to lie to you. I would still forget that it was even going on half the time. Like, I thought they were just regular games, and then you tune in and you see that ugly ass court. Like, oh, in season tournament game, of course, And let's be real. LeBron went out there and said, of course, this means a lot to me. That $500,000, baby. LeBron, I know for a goddamn fact, $500,000 you don't wipe your ass with. All right. Let's be honest here, Buckaroo. It might mean a lot to those 14th and 15th guy on the team. LeBron James don't care about no $500,000. I commend you on being a good steward of the NBA and like trying your best to like make this seem like it means something to you. It was built in your contract. We all know.
He should have won the Las Vegas franchise bid right then and there.
Maybe he can use the $500,000 as like a starting bid,
I mean, it's certainly a start.
Yeah. I was texting you about it earlier today. I think that's a great idea. Give him the Vegas franchise. He can go out, draft Bronny, draft Bryce, come out of retirement, be a Jackie Moon type owner, operator. He's out there for his last season. I think, dude, it's scripted. It's in the freaking aura already,
It's pretty scripted when AD drops 40 and they're still like, and the MVP trophy goes to LeBron anyways. We don't even like AD's like, dude, like I'm so tired of this guy.
AD's like, dude,
there's a reason AD's like really sad half the time.
Right? Yeah, AD's like, all right, dude, I'm just gonna go sprain my knee right now. You don't need me anyway, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, exactly. Like I could find a slippery tile on the way out of this arena and twist an ankle for sure.
My favorite Anthony Davis clip is a tie. It's the one where he shaved the unibrow, which was an April Fool's joke. And he looked like a totally normal person. And then my second favorite AD clip is where he's playing NBA 2K, and within 5 minutes of playing, Anthony Davis, the video game character, gets injured, and he's like, "What the fuck?" That was incredible. So
that's probably like the best. That's probably the best of those video game clips. And then now like the Wemby one where that Wemby dude goes crazy on the rim is also like up there for like, I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it is just funny.
Yeah. Speaking of Wemby, by the way, it's hilarious that the Spurs are like 3-18, or I don't know if they won tonight. I haven't paid attention, but
yeah, but they've been struggling for sure.
2 of those wins are against the Suns.
Yeah, for sure they are. For sure they are. Early in the season, and we were not playing. Not that we're playing good basketball now, but it wasn't good then
either.
Not at
all, really. Yeah.
No, just in between. But Tuesday, I guess maybe we're all back.
I think KD's out.
That makes sense.
We're not
no joy here. Yeah.
Do you forget that it's an Arizona sports team? Because like this is the thing we go through. Like, happiness doesn't exist in the Valley. So,
I mean, at least we're getting back to like maybe where we can have 2 in at a time. That would be nice.
I would like to winning. Look, we've gotten the Booker KD experience. Yep. Now we got to try the Booker Beal experience. We can't have all 3 yet. We got to see what they are like just in cohesion before we have the total package. Okay, like
just ease them all on in. Can't do it all at once. It's too much.
Listen, dude, this isn't like we're cooking. All right, we're not making a steak dinner or something where you can just kind of throw shit together. This is like baking, and if you don't get the ingredients right and the right amounts, it can lead to, maybe some flat cookies or, a cake that doesn't rise the right way. All right. You got to add 2 like one dose of KD Booker and one dose of Beal Booker, and then maybe Booker gets a quick little injury bug, and now we got to add one part Beal KD, and then you get the total cake, and it's all three of them just in time for the playoffs, where we then lose to the Mavericks. So
I was almost like gonna say, I was like, this is more positive than anything you've texted me, and then at the end you were like, you Sean McDermotted the plane, dude.
oh,
Um,
nice one.
yeah, I don't know. I just like that's the problem, dude. You can't start around that stuff because then you'll just never get it out of your head because it's just burned in there. But
Speaking of 9/11, though, really quick, John Rahm to the live, huh?
dude, I knew we could. What a transition and way to bring it all together. And congrats to Arizona State for having another alum join the dirty, cheating Saudis. Yeah, no, dude, I still don't like. Me and you have talked about this a lot on this here, and then like on our own time too. I still have no idea what the hell is going on in the golf world. Like,
No.
they're like, whatever it was 3 months ago, they're like, dude, we're like together now. We're like, no, we're totally going to create a thing, which I assume is not going to be a thing at all. As they continue to take players. Apparently it's going to be John Rahm now, which I know it's nothing weird, and we can totally trust the Saudis because they immediately march him right onto Fox News in all black to talk about it. So nothing ominous or dystopian or weird about that at
No,
all. Totally
completely normal.
normal vibes from
Yeah.
Liv. Totally not weird. Didn't think I'd ever get really comfortable with the term sports washing, but now it's just something I say, just flows right off the tongue. It's just so weird, dude. I honestly don't even like have any real commentary on it. Like, take your money, whatever. I don't even care. I'm not even super upset about it. But there's one thing that's for certain: you get that live gear on, you wear the black hat, your eyes go dead, and then you just go speak to the people of America about it. Whether it works or not, I don't know because no one's watching these damn events, but they sure keep printing the money. So whatever.
I don't know, dude. I don't get it either. Apparently, there were a bunch of trades in Live too. Our boy Harold Varner is no longer on the Range Goats, so I am protesting Live going forward.
He was
You will
traded.
not have my support. Yeah, apparently there's trades. Okay, it's like any other sports league. All right,
Wow.
buckle up, Buckaroo. Like, I will say though, Varner's on the Aces now, so
Ooh.
Varner with like Pat Perez and DJ. That's a
Yeah.
team I can get behind, actually.
I mean, definitely a
So,
better team with Varner on it for sure.
yeah. They did trade Taylor Gooch as well.
Yeah, because Gooch was the
Weird
boring
move.
one.
Yeah, even though he was probably the best golfer in the live this year.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, he was good. Like nothing wrong with his game, but he just less
Definitely. I mean,
personality.
and his name's Gooch. So, you can't have that on a good Christian team like the Range Goats. So, Bubba wasn't going to tolerate that. But yeah, crazy. What did he get? Was it 500 mil or 300 mil?
300 mil. So cut in half from the 600 million reported initially, which is I mean, that feels steep, but it's not Ohtani money, but it's pretty damn good money.
Yeah, no, it's very good. I think that might be right around the range Mickelson got, right?
I don't remember what the cartoon numbers are anymore. That's what I mean. It's just so I've just never really experienced anything like it where
No,
they're just
not at
like
all.
dumping all of this. I mean, in anything though, where they're just dumping crazy amounts of money, but then like there isn't even hardly a product that anybody's paying attention to, or like it's just weird, right? Like that they don't have any numbers on television. We know we went to
Mhm.
an event and the event was like held and it was a nice event and it felt
It's
like
cool.
a tour event and all of that. So I'm not even discrediting that part of it. From a competition standpoint, they still don't really have like depth of field, but they have some guys and they continue to like pick them. So maybe they are ultimately building something. I would say if you're the PGA, the most disconcerting thing is seeing someone like Spieth who just simply said like, I don't even think it was about the money. I think he looked at two bad options and was like, I might as well be the money. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, I don't think he sees a vision for which would tell me that a lot of guys are having these conversations. A lot of the guys don't have a vision of what golf looks like moving forward. And when you don't know, you're going to grasp at things like for better, for worse, whatever those
yeah.
things mean. But like, yeah, it's just a weird world.
I think this was just the byproduct of Jay. You know what I mean? Like Jay just being disingenuous about everything, and like not, like you said, not having a
Yeah,
vision for the future. Nobody knows at all what's happening with the merger, or if there is still a merger or whatever. And at the end of the day, like, there's really not as much of a commitment on Live, and you still get 300 million. So I think the John Rahm stuff has been rumored for a while anyway.
for sure.
And it just finally came to fruition. The guy wins the Masters, and I think that was just kind of like him punching his ticket. Like, all right, I accomplished one of the biggest things you can do in the PGA. I mean, you can still play on the Masters,
Yeah,
being a Live guy, but like it's a hell of a lot easier to get the invite. You know what I mean? Like if you are on the PGA. And now he's just like, well, I'm gonna go collect the cash while I can. And to be honest with you, I talked to James Rogers about it, and he made a great comment. Like, dude, why wouldn't you? Like, if there is truly a merger, like, go collect your bag while you still can. And like, I mean, what are they really gonna do? You're John fucking Ram. You know what I mean? Like, you just won the Masters. You're one of the hottest names in world golf. Like, are they really going to tell you like, nope, sorry, you can't come back to the PJ even though we merged? Like, no, they're going to still bring you on. Maybe they'll slap you on the wrist, but like, it's like a lot of these guys that go, like they're going to let them back on. So yeah, go collect your bag while you still can. At the end of the day, though, I'm with you. I don't understand it. Like, I don't
yeah.
understand why the
Neither
Live
nor
is
they.
like actively poaching players from a league that they're actively merging with. Doesn't make sense to me, but at the
No
end of the
idea what's
day,
going
like
on.
this is the most confusing, probably sports story. There goes your dachshund. Nice.
There he goes. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the more I read, dude, the less I understand. I'm like
Yeah.
more confused all the time. And
I
dude, how
didn't.
many times have we sent articles back and forth, and I just know
Yeah.
less than I've ever known.
Yeah. At this point, I just don't even care.
I
You know
don't
what I
either.
mean?
Like I really don't either. Like it makes me just like it gives us something funny to talk about, but I can only make the jokes and then I just move on. I'm just like I really there's nothing really in it for me.
Yeah. The most disappointing thing about this is James did let me know that the Live is not coming to Tucson this year, so that sucks because that was a action
Then
packed
I'm out.
weekend.
Then
That
I'm
was
out
really
on
fun.
live.
Yeah.
If
I am too.
you're not even going to show up to my town anymore, then I'm back
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
it's like that was the fun of it for us. Was at least we got a golf event, like a professional golf event, where we could go watch real golfers. No
Yeah.
offense to the seniors or the ladies who stop in.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to that because I thought they signed like a 3-year contract with the gallery, and I was like, well, can't wait to go back next year. Saw the Rahm news, I was like, cool, get to go see John Rahm. That'll be kind of cool, even though he's a Sun Devil, it's still like a very large name. And James let me know they are not coming this year. So I
Man,
think they are having the color guard or whatever it's called at
yeah,
La Paloma though, so that's cool.
yeah. I know they moved that, but yeah, I mean, now it really makes you think about those Saguaros they chopped down, right?
Yeah, it
Didn't at the
died
time you're
in
like, all
vain.
right, well, capitalism, whatever. Now I'm like, man, wow,
Weird. Saudis doing something.
sold our soul for one event. Come
Yeah,
on, should have taken him
weird.
down when we had the chance.
Yeah, Saudis just destroying life with the promise of doing something for it and not following through with it. Huh? Sounds real 9/11 to me.
While we're talking golf, don't forget your stocking stuffers. Tasty coming with the little packs here. Got them in all
Ooh,
flavors. Got the happy holidays vibes on them.
look
Everybody's
at
busting them
that.
out. So yeah, dude, he sent more swag out. He's still supporting the program, and right back to you, brother. We appreciate the partnership with Tasty, and again, I'm out there every weekend. I got him in, but he's got him in the stocking stuffer variety. So if you got a golfer in your life, you know what to do.
Dude, those are perfect though. You just throw those in the back pocket, when you're ready to let it rip, throw one in, let it rip. Don't let it dip at the end of the day, right? If
That's right.
we're trying to get rid of the vices, Tasty's got your back at the end of the day.
We could have hooked Vrabel up today. I saw him's back pocket looking a
little circular, huh?
cancerous.
Yeah. A little circular back there, Mikey. You throwing one in there, huh?
For sure he would.
Little gum pillow action. Okay. No, for sure. Tasties are delicious. They're great. One of the best things you can have on the course. Definitely will probably add 20, 30 yards to your drive, guaranteed. That is not,
Fact.
that is not a tasty mission statement. That is a jump shots from the goal line mission statement. Please do not hold Tasties, responsible. That is just us. So now that we got the legal jargon out of the way, definitely will add 20 to 30 yards to your drive, and it will definitely make you just have an overall better time. All right. Who wants to go buy the stupid wood tees that have no flavor? And they're just going to break anyway. At least when you're having fun out in the course and you're teeing one up, at least be able to throw it in your mouth and enjoy the sweet taste of lemon lime or wintergreen or any other flavors that they have. So I know that our dude over at Tasties is developing new flavors all the time. So be on the lookout. Like Henny said, stocking stuffers. Get it for your 86-year-old father who loves Cooper Cup. I'm sure he would appreciate that a lot. So Tasties, go buy them. The last thing we do want to talk about, going from one bag to another, Shohei Ohtani. We don't talk baseball a lot on this podcast unless the Diamondbacks are in the World Series blowing it more than anybody. Come on, too soon? Yeah, it's fine. Shohei Ohtani going to the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? Just going across town.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking, right? The thing that was shocking, though, was the contract. $700 million over, what was it, 10 years?
10 years, $700 million. So just a cool 70 a year.
With deferred payments. So it's actually not $70 million a year. It came out today. It's $2 million a year for the 10 years, and then $68,000 every year after that. So, or 68 million.
Yeah, you
keep trying. I keep saying 1,000 because I just can't believe the amounts.
Yeah, you're
it's
like,
insane.
There's no way it's 700 million. That doesn't make sense. It's too many zeros.
Shohei Ohtani successfully Bobby Bonilla the Los Angeles Dodgers. Am I correct in thinking that?
I guess, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want this money now. There's like no math that I can do. If you do the inflation math, if you tell me this, that, whatever, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to get this money. I understand that the idea here is that he's still trying to leave free capital for the Dodgers to continue to spend so that they can win while he's there, which is all really nice things of Ohtani to do. And so in which he's been nothing but consistently a really solid dude. So really not surprising there. But like from the just grab your bag standpoint, I don't understand why. If you offered me $100 million, I want it today. Not 10 years from now. So like that part's really interesting to me and doesn't really make a lot of financial sense.
It's like the juiciest 401k plan ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine that it's there and it's nice to know that it's there, but it just doesn't, I don't know. I just think it's funny because I know there's going to be people out there that are like trying to tell me why it's smart. And it's just not financially prudent. There's no way you're going to tell me that that's like what you should be doing, especially if you're also going to tell me inflation exists, which I'm sure that someone's going to. So I don't know. It's just interesting to me that that's the route he went, but no way, shape, or form surprising that he's a Los Angeles Dodger.
No.
However, if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan,
that
must have been a fun hour to get kicked in the nuts. That's just really, really rough.
There was a 5-minute span where I guess the Braves were talking to him earlier in this offseason. I was like, there's no shot. No way. I didn't ever think he was going to get $700 million. But good for him, two-way guy. I don't know how much longer he's going to pitch because I think that's been kind of like the source of his injury issues.
Yeah.
Dude can mash, though. He can definitely do that. I just wonder, is this another Albert Pujols situation potentially? Kind of an injury-prone guy a little bit, incredibly talented, one of the best hitters in the game, but has had his injury woes the last couple of years. I wish him the best personally, like him.
Yep, same.
But just saying, if there were, he were to get hurt or something, would be kind of funny for the Dodgers. Being a Dodger hitter myself, so.
No, that's exactly where I sit on this one. Like, there's no part of me that's rooting against Ohtani. I'm happy he got his money, blah, blah, blah. I think he's been awesome. Like, he's just been awesome for the game. He's the best thing that's happened to baseball in a long, long time. That said, he just now signed with the Dodgers, and I think the honeymoon of sweet little narrative around Ohtani, for me, personally, is over. Yeah. Like, you are now on one of those powers of, one of the evil axis powers. Like, you're a Yankee, Dodger, you're now one of those. So now I know
he's an evil empire. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
like, yeah, we can cue the Darth Vader music, dude.
Mhm.
You're now a bad guy. So
Yep.
it is what it is. You're going to come to town. I'm not going to root for you anymore. There is no joy in
Mhm.
it. And you're also now just making a lot of money. So also be ready for criticism, regardless of whether you deferred money. If the Dodgers get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, as they do historically every single time, as they continue to trot out Kershaw every single time. And yes, no one counts the championship for the Lakers in the COVID year. The Dodgers World Series is also debunked. Those are trash championships, and no one counts them. And yeah, so just be ready for that because that's coming as well. So that's the risk of being a Dodger and doing all of these things is that you're now in the crosshairs.
When did this get announced, by the way? Like the deal. What day was it? Was it Saturday?
Feels right.
Saturday. That would have been what? The 8th?
Yeah, dude. I
Do, do you know where I'm going with this?
do yeah. Too
Just
close.
saying. Fuck you, Dodgers. Not a real patriotic team, are you?
I know, but there was a lot of those connections being made over the look,
Awfully
there's a
close
lot
to
going
the
on between McDermott, A Day That Lives in Infamy, like the Saudi Arabia stuff. Like I was,
just saying. It was awfully close
no,
to
by the end of the
D-Day.
weekend, dude, I had to put 2 American flags up front just to make sure everybody knew where I stood because it was getting real squirrely throughout the weekend for sure.
All I'm going to say, Henny, is there's a lot of guys my dad's age that probably wouldn't appreciate it. The Dodgers giving somebody from that area of the world $700 million. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I say that. Shohei, go get your bag.
I'm not even saying I was able to connect those dots. I'm glad you were able to do that for me because I would have never put those things together.
Yeah, I just got done watching the new World War II documentary on Netflix, which, by the way, I highly recommend. Very, very good watch. So, no, just weird coincidence that it's that close to D-Day. Weird. Also, this is totally unsurprising that the Dodgers would do this because one of the owners of the Dodgers is also the owner of Chelsea Football Club, the team I support. And they've spent £1 billion in the market over there too. So they have more money than they know what to do with. So unsurprising. But that's sports.
Sports and money. Who knew? Who knew those things were related? That's actually what we ended up talking about. That was the common thread through all of it, huh? We're like, Alabama's in because of money. Saudi Arabia, money. Dodgers, money. This is all money. I wish it was anything
Lamar Jackson just got a big
reality.
contract. That's money.
Sure is.
Herbert also just got paid. Money. A lot of money running through them sports veins. So if you guys get anything from this episode, there's a lot of money in sports. So, put your kids in youth sports early and often, and maybe you will have a $700 million contract one day. So sure,
probably not football, though.
Is pumped. Yeah, probably not football.
Frank Wycheck, who just apparently just randomly fell and is just now dead. Totally not NFL related, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely not. He was only like 52 years old. Isn't that
That's
crazy?
what I'm saying. He just falls in his house. Does that seem weird to you, or do you think that sounds NFL related, like a lawsuit?
I think the NFL is about to fine a lot of guys this weekend for just some casual blocks. So
yeah,
be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, exactly right, dude. I was like, yeah, exactly. Someone's gonna hear this Frank Wycheck comment and be like, you know what, we should find some more guys. Were there other dirty hits out there kind of that we could find?
Yeah.
Now, obviously not anybody like Maine or Marquee. We just want to like find some guys, that just like someone who can really even afford it, honestly, because that seems more ethical. Yeah,
that kind of guy. Yeah, totally. Well, hey, that was the last 2 weeks in sports. We will be back next week. Henny, your birthday's coming up. So happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Good luck with that. It's a big one this year. Turning 21. That's going to be great for you. I'm excited.
It'd be wild, dude.
I'm sure you're going to have some tasties on the course for your birthday. So awesome for that. Other than that, brother, we do have NFL this weekend. I think the bowl games are starting up here pretty soon. Probably next week?
There's there's 5 or 6 games on Saturday. And we're like wire to wire on Saturday. I couldn't tell you which ones they are, but they're coming.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Big Bubba Mowers Bahamas Bowl or something, which I will be watching, believe it or not, at Peter.
Exactly.
So we will have plenty to follow up on next week. with that, guys, make sure you're following us on socials. We're on Twitter/X. We're on Instagram. We are on YouTube, where you may be watching this. We are on TikTok, on Facebook, all of them. We're everywhere, and we are active, and we are waiting for your DMs, your interaction. Please hit us up. And then don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the bottom of this YouTube video or on this Spotify podcast, audio shit, whatever. Just make sure you're subscribing. Go buy some tasties. Like
Just trying to
Kenny
get the
said,
good lighting this time. I
yeah.
feel like I'm doing my guy
There you
bad, you
go.
know.
Nope, nope. Put it back. Put it back. No, no, no. Only on YouTube can you have this kind of content, folks. So there it is. But make sure you guys are subscribing on wherever you guys are listening to this. Hit that like button, whatever. Give us a 5-star review. We highly appreciate those. That helps other listeners find us. We really do appreciate that. And share it with a few friends, right? Share a pack of tasties, but also tell them, hey, I heard about these on my favorite podcast, Jump Shots from the Goal Line. A bunch of hooligans on that podcast like to talk about 9/11 terrorist attacks. So other than that, guys, we will
Durbin
talk to you
started it.
next week, and be safe and happy holidays. So see you later. Bye-bye.